Welcome back. Going into the second half here of our Drop Frames Game of the Year 2018 show. Coming up next, we have our favorite streamed games of 2018, which is a new thing that we're deciding to do this year because we decided and realized last year, I don't know who thought of it. We'll just give it to Zeke. Zeke had this great idea last year that we should include games that we can't include in our top 10 because our top 10 category had to have come out in 2018, and it cannot be an expansion or an add-on or anything. It has to be a game that released, not early access, a full-on release. And our top 5 games just bypass all that, so they can be whatever the fuck we want.
And just to be clear, though, that's not a restriction. So we can still have, like, if a game did come out this year and we just had a lot of fun streaming it, we can still put it in the list and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Like when my list like starts getting revealed, it's not because it's not because they're good, but not necessarily, but because I had a fun time streaming them, so on and so forth. And also for someone who plays a lot of old games like me, it's limiting for the game of the year 2018. Totally. So I can put in like older games that I had fun streaming rather than, that came out this year.
All right. Why don't you start us off then, since you kind of had the explanation, Zeke? What was your number 5 for your top 5 streaming games in 2018?
And this is the perfect example of a game that would not crack my top 10 list. Probably didn't crack a lot of, maybe it did, but I just had so much fun streaming it because of the choices or non-choices that I made. Number 5, top game I streamed, Detroit Become Human.
I get it. I understand.
So much fucking fun streaming that and just fucking it up the whole way through on purpose. Oh, it was so much fun. And the chat, just watching the chat just fucking blow up. They were asking like, where's this character? And everybody was like, he fucking let that character die. It was so hilarious. Like, what? I've never seen anybody let that character die. Shit like that. It was so much fun.
I get it.
So much fun. I had such a blast, such a hoot, laughing and fucking shit up on purpose that it had to be in the top 5 for sure.
I get it. I understand it. I did not have that same experience because for me it was just like, what are you making the wrong choice? Or what are you fucking doing? Straight that. So
oh yeah,
I envy your experience with Detroit Become Human. Co, what was your number 5?
My number 5, now this is an interesting one because I wanted to shoehorn this game onto the list, and I'm honestly pretty sad that I can't talk more about it because I have so much to talk to you two about this game. I've just recently started playing it, and again, it's very rare that I would include something this early, but I already know it's something incredibly special. My 5th top 5 game stream is Kenshi. Holy shit, this game.
That didn't update.
That didn't load at all.
Yeah, we got it. We'll do this. Let's do this right here. And we'll do that. We had to make a little correction.
Okay.
That's a funny way to spell Kenshi.
Kenshi is... There we go. Kenshi is an incredible, incredible game. It is... by the way, we're all totally over our names right now. Just a quick heads up. Kenshi is like a more...
It's because I'm eating. Sorry. Go ahead.
Brutal RimWorld, a more sandboxy RimWorld. It has an incredible world. The amount of things that can happen is second to none. It is a little bit rough around the edges. There's JP selection, but it's but it's incredible. And again, I really have a lot that I want to talk about with Kenshi, but I'm going to save it until we talk probably next episode because I have many things to tell you guys about. But needless to say, I needed to put Kenshi somewhere on the list, and here it is for now. Honestly, the more I play it, it probably would have gone up higher. But since I'm literally at the very beginning of my run, because some people have spent thousands of hours in this game, I had to put it at 5. So if you don't know what Kenshi is, check it out.
It's pretty new, right?
Kenshi has been in development for 12 years. By a single guy, and that team has over time ballooned up to 5 and gone back to 1. It has been a huge development. It did come out this year. It is in the 1.0 release, but it's been a passion project for this one dude for over a decade, and that's one of the reasons. Even though it's rough around the edges, there's some weird frame rate issues, some loading issues. It's actually pretty bug-free, which is amazing considering all the things you can do in it. I mean, you can play this game as a base builder, an explorer, a slaver. You can be a robot. You can it's insane what you can do in this game.
I know it won't encapsulate the game, and don't think I'm assuming that. But what game can you compare it to the most?
The closest comparison I can make is like Dwarf Fortress or RimWorld. Like it the amount of random craziness that happens in Kenshi is just it's second to none. All the NPC factions fight. They all do random things. Random camps will get set up all over the place. You'll just be wandering down and see two people fighting. There's tons of role play and lore to see and dialogue that will just randomly start talking. You can just bring two people together and they'll just start having a conversation. And they may have been people that you picked up from across the world on two different sides of it, and they'll just start talking to each other. Like it's really cool. If this isn't enough, I'm addicted to this game. I'm probably going to be streaming it all day for the next few days. I already have streamed it all day for a few days. Like, stop by and check it out sometime. It's something special.
Yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that next week because you were tweeting about this game earlier this week, and I was like, what the fuck is Kenshi? And then I watched you play, and I was like, what the fuck is this game? So you've got some explaining to do next week for sure.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll do that next Wednesday.
# save knife.
There you go. I don't know what that means, but we'll figure it out next week. For me, it was already spoiled because it doesn't matter. Number 5 for me, very specific, was the Battle for Azeroth launch of World of Warcraft. We've now done it 2 expansions in a row, 24-hour streams with myself, Shorty Guy, Lyric, and Tim the Tapman. And this year was not only one of the hardest 24-hour streams I've ever done, but one of Tim the Tapman's last 24-hour streams he will ever do. And I still remember the game was Battle for Azeroth. It was fun at the first couple of days for launch. But watching Tim suffer through staying up for 24 hours at like 6 or 7 a.m. that morning was just classic. It was just so fun. So many good times. So many good memories. Yeah, fuck Waffle, by the way. He was also in there. But there's so many good times with all of that. It was a good time. I'm sad that game ended up being, that expansion ended up being what it is, because the start of it was so promising. It was so much fun. But I think that's probably true for all leveling processes in any MMO until you hit the end game to see what the game actually is. But that was my number 5. What was my number 4? Oh yeah. I talked about this a little bit before. There's a reason. Not only did I play with Gassy Mexican, but I also played with Mini Wheat, a 12-ish. I'm not sure how old Mini Wheat is now, but a young person berating me while his father sat there and laughed because I can't talk shit back to a 12-year-old, yet still had fun with it. Says a lot about. Says a lot about how much fun I had with the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Blackout mode. If you want to see me mute my mic multiple times and tell you how I really feel about the current situation, go watch the streams with Mini Wheat, Sir Scoots, and DJ Week. They were fun. Yeah, I think I got called a big egg about 1,000 times, and every single time it got more and more infuriating to be called a big egg. Yeah, it was
why?
Fun. I don't know. It was just we were doing something, and he would just call me a big egg, and I was like, I don't know what that means. Anyways.
Oh, okay. So it's not like a meme or anything. It's just something like a kid calls you, and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, wait a minute. I don't know if I'm okay with this. Stop calling me a big egg. It was fun. He was talking shit to everyone, man. Like, it was. Oof. They were fun streams, though. I had a lot of fun playing Blackout.
No,
it was good times.
I had the displeasure of playing against that little shit during PJ Salton. During a PJ Salton stream, he played a game. I can't remember what it was, but it was, oh my God. And he was just talking mad shit to everybody on the whole fucking, like, on the entire stage. And it was just like, little kid, I'm gonna break you in half. I'm gonna pick you up and crack you over my knee.
Yeah. I'm assuming he was watching if this was a PJ Salter.
Oh, he was
thing.
emceeing the event. Oh, and he was just loving it.
He knows what the fuck he's doing, having his kid throwing insults. Because you can't, I'm not gonna throw him back at a 13. I'm not gonna stoop to his level. All right, I'm just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
I will though. That's the problem.
Yeah, it was oof. Anyways, Co, you're number 4, top 5 streamed.
Number 4. By the way, before I continue, you know how earlier you said that you forgot about something in one of your categories?
Oh God, yeah.
I do need to say that I didn't forget, but I should have thought about Persona 5 for this list. I really should have, because I'd forgotten that my playthrough actually overlapped, and yeah, I should have thought about Persona 5. Okay. But anyway, it's not on the list. It's still a phenomenal, very, very amazing game. But yeah. Anyway, number 4. This has been a game that I was introduced to recently. Had a lot of fun with it. It's already been talked about on this game show. Path of Exile. Not much to say about it. We all know what it is. We all know it's fun. I keep going back to it. I'm going back to it next league. I didn't even really like my character hugely this league, and I still played it for like 40 hours. And I can't wait. I'm doing a minion build next league. It's just a fun game. It's just a fun game, and I have a great time playing it. So I probably had, I think I did 2 or 3 full runs this year. Loved every one of them, and I'm sure I'll love it again when I play it again.
What minion build you got to play?
I have no idea yet. In fact, I need to talk to you about it.
Okay. All right. Golemancer was pretty cheap this league because no one played it. But anyways, Zeke, you got to save us quick. I'm jumping into Path of Exile talk. Go. Number 4.
Oh, God. Number 4 for me was a huge surprise. Let me just speak to the Persona thing. I started Persona in 2017. So it didn't make my list because of that. Because it feels like that was last year, because it bled over from December into January. So it didn't make my list for that reason. I didn't even consider it because of that. But my number 4, didn't see it coming, just like Persona. Loved it. RimWorld.
Huh. All right.
I didn't know how much fun I would have with my chat and streaming it that I did. And boy, did I have a lot of fun playing that. I don't honestly think I would have had as much fun playing it off stream, because of all of the randomness and the events and stuff would just be annoying. But playing it on stream with people watching and characters named after other broadcasters or people in chat and stuff like that, it was fun to yell at them in front of, an audience that knows who the people are, or their familiar name or something like that, and treating them like actual people. Like saying like, God damn it, JP, you're the one who's supposed to go get the bodies. Now go fucking fetch the bodies. You're the only one who doesn't get grossed out by dead things. So get over there and go get it. Shit, there's a fire. Fucking Sagriel, get out there and fucking
I'm too busy smoking, Zeke.
Yeah, and oh my God, and like being the guy who's an alcoholic. But every time he was like, I'm an alcoholic, I can't do anything, I would make him go smoke a J and pass out, because that's what would happen every time. You go into the smoke hut, roll up a J and smoke it, and then you'd hear that alert when one of your characters is down. I don't remember what the sound it is, but it was just like bloop, and he'd be like, Co's down because he fucking smoked a joint because his alcoholism took over. So
basically my real life.
JP would have to go over there every time and pick him up and put him back in bed.
I love it.
And that happened. That was by far the worst, by the way. The worst attribute is alcoholism. It's just terrible, because it takes so fucking long. However, getting back to the main point, it was so fucking much fun to stream. And I don't think I would do it offline because of the reasons I said. It was just an amazing time.
Yeah. Awesome stuff.
And I didn't think I'd like it because it's like management.
Yeah, I when you started talking about enjoying that game, I did not believe you. I thought you were trolling me, but you were
no. However, like, I think given the right kind of game, I dig management. Like, I really do. But it has to be a specific kind of game for me to enjoy it, and I can't really like put my finger on what.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kenshi? Oh yeah, just for Zeke, good time to mention. In Kenshi, you can have up to 30 people. You can actually mod it up to 250, and you can name almost all of them.
Uh-oh.
That's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I was having trouble after I accrued like 6. Thankfully, a disease came and killed half of my crew. Like Ripco, Rip JP, Rip Sacriel.
It's true. We died. Zeke, what was your number 3? We'll just ping pong back and forth.
Yep. Number 3 had to be on the list somewhere. Didn't come out in 2018, but fuck did I have a good time. My first taste in a love affair with Yakuza 0. Yakuza 0.
Wait a minute. That was this year?
That game. Yeah. I did the entire Yakuza series this year.
This was a long fucking year. What the hell?
I did 0, Kiwami, 2 on PlayStation 2, which was hard. 3, 4, and 5, all PS3, PS4. And then I went back and played Kiwami 2 a little bit. I didn't play all the way through because I knew the story. The story was the important part for me. But getting introduced to these characters for the first time in Yakuza 0, I could not have asked for a better introduction. I'm glad that I didn't play it when it came out originally back in the day, because this was such a more engaging and better, you know, we're spoiled for graphics and that kind of stuff now. So I'm glad I didn't get the taste back then. Play it. Play 0. If you don't like 0, you probably won't like the rest of the series. But I dare you not to like it because it's fucking phenomenal. It's fantastic. It has one of the best scenes of any game ever. It's the combat system is fun. The heat moves are great. I don't know if they call them heat moves in 0 or whatever, but all of the shit, like, it has all the elements. It has tons of shit to do. You can pour tons of hours into it, which I didn't do. Like, by the time I ended 0, I think I had 30%. That was the one I think I completed the most of, was 30% of game and sub stories and stuff like that. But it introduced me to a love affair with Majima, the Mad Dog of Shimano, and it showed his origin, which was stupid good.
I feel like
I had a lot of fun. And also, the reason why it was a fun game to stream was because these were beloved characters of people that I'm getting my first introduction to.
Yeah, I feel like you and Co have been talking about Yakuza for fucking years. Oh, yeah. So that's why I was like, really? That came out? That was okay. Co, you're number 3.
And 0 is by far my favorite of the series.
All right. Number 3 for me. Again, this is one that I've already talked about a little bit, and it was just a game that I had a great time streaming. I was in a unique position, as we talked about, with it, and I think that really added to it because it was really fun streaming it alongside with people who kind of knew what was going on. My third favorite top 5 game stream this year was Spider-Man.
I
had a really good time with it. I loved the main story. I loved seeing everything develop. The voice acting was top notch. The sounds were great. The music was good. It was just a joy to stream, and I had a good time with it. It was a really great game. Also, good time to mention that for me. By the way, I don't know about you guys, but I use the top 5 game stream a little bit. Not really an extension of my top 10, but I don't think I had any overlap with it. So, like, a lot of these were kind of like games I had a really good time with, but weren't quite top 10 able for various reasons. So
I didn't have any
for me,
overlap.
Spider-Man third, and I had a time with it.
Yeah. For me, my number 3 is once again not a. I forgot what other title I did this with, or what other category I did this with. It's not necessarily a game in particular, but it was something that I streamed, something that we streamed. It was our Drop Frames E3 2018 coverage. I think that was some of the most fun stuff. And Zeke, I'm so sad. You got to stop getting Twitch to fucking pay you to do this shit and just stay home. Because it's so much fun, man. It's so much fun.
I don't regret it, but I miss you guys every year because I really want to be a part of that. But just to be there and to be in the actual, like, buzz and whatever of it, it's great.
Yeah, I mean, like, me and Co have never experienced that, so you have that on us where we just sit home and goof off on stream. It was a good year, I think, for streaming our coverage of E3. And I don't know if it'll ever be the same, only because of how much E3 is changing the next year with Sony dropping out. True. I think, was it Microsoft has also said that there's another publisher that's pulling out. So it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. And I think that tweet that Ninjite actually just linked, where Day9's on stream during the PC Gaming Conference and drops the name Dropped Frames, and me and Co we were like mid pizza snack, and we both just lit up. It was a ton of fun. I absolutely loved streaming that.
I was
didn't know
screaming backstage. I was like, yeah, he said it.
I didn't know we could include stuff like that on the list, to be honest, because those streams were really, really fun. That whole like weekend was just really, really fun. It felt like almost going on a little vacation, kind of. But it was cool. It was great experience.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm worried for the future of E3, but at least we have the Game Awards. Game Awards is also fun to restream that stuff. So we'll see where we go from there. We'll see what this year looks like for that. Number 2 should come as no surprise to people. I think that people understand that I've fallen in love with this game and quickly made it my main game. Path of Exile is just always a fucking... And I can't include this on my top 10 list. So Path of Exile had to show up here. It was...
Surprised it's not first, to be honest.
Yeah, it was and is the game every 3 months. I have planned out vacations. I plan out live shows. I plan a lot of things around launch dates every 3 months for the new league. Only because I don't want to miss that first week. Because it's so much fun jumping into that game and just playing every single league. So I hope that continues on into 2019. I'm sure it will, but I keep wondering when's going to be the time where I'm just like, do I really want to like farm again already? It's only been 3 months, but so far it hasn't happened yet. I did get a headhunter this league, so I got to get a new fucking crazy goal and figure out what that is for the next league, because that's definitely what kept me around in December. But we'll see. We'll see. So that's my number 2. It was going to show up eventually, and there it is, Path of Exile. Co, what's your number 2?
My number 2 was not played by either of you.
Uh-oh.
It is the first time that we've talked about it on this show, or at least the Game of the Year show. I had a fantastic time in this game. Returned to it a little bit recently, but didn't get to dive too much into it. It is a deep, fun game that centers around one of my favorite genres. I had a great time with it, and frankly, it was the reason that it made this list was because I don't know what about it really tied everyone in, but the community was really behind the playthrough, and like I kept getting snippets about their runs and how they were doing and stuff like that. My second top 5 games streamed was Battletech.
Really?
I had a really good time with Battletech. I had a 50+ hour playthrough. I enjoyed all of it. It's a really great mech-based XCOM style adventure game where you kind of like have a lot of customization. I spent hours offline learning about how to properly spec mechs, what tonnage is for what type, how to make a missile boat. Like it was really, really fun. And yeah, it's my second. I had a good time with it.
So I played Battletech, by the way. I just didn't play it for very long. Yeah. I got to like the first 4 or 5 missions and realized it was one of those games. And so I just was like, okay, I understand what this is. And we moved on.
I never picked it up. I should, though.
Yeah, I know a bunch of people, Twitch chat, and also just people I follow on Twitter absolutely loved Battletech. So,
and it just recently had a pretty big DLC come out, which adds some really cool functionality. So good time to check it out.
Yeah. Zeke, what was your number 2? And then your number 1. You get the big reveal first.
You betcha. My number 2 game was a favorite game streamed was because I had a friend over and we were able to play all the way through it together. My mod extraordinaire and one of the best friends I've made since this whole Twitch thing started, Mr. Scott Evans, we played through A Way Out.
Oh.
That was so much fun. So much fun to play through. And I had a buddy to play through it with me, couch co-op, and I don't know, man. It was a great game, well written, lots of fun, and there was like purposeful failures where it's like press the button to put out your hand and catch it, and then it was like nope, just then you start over again from the checkpoint because you got to get it. Like it was just a lot of fun. Yeah. And playing it with someone else really, really made for a fun stream.
Because you have to play it with someone else, right? So yeah.
And he even has his own emote now. Look at that! Look at that beautiful face.
Nice. A Way Out number 2. What's your number 1? I don't.
Speaking of playing,
Yeah?
with other people. Every time I stream this game, I left with a headache from laughing so much. Not even close. Far Cry 5.
Really?
Playing it with Sour Kool-Aid Show, DP from the Sour Kool-Aid Show, and just him being horrible and us fucking things up and just trying to like hold his hand through the entire game. Just made for, and also it's like we were both Montana guys. We both were born and raised in Montana.
Yeah. And
just being in this situation and environment where we were trying to do like missions and stuff together. And it was sad how bad it ended up. So many clips. Like I think in my top 10 clips, there's like 4 of them are Far Cry. It was that much fun. So yes, absolutely. Far Cry 5, my favorite game of the year streamed.
Without plugging too much, is that whole playthrough on your YouTube? I might poke around there.
It's not a playthrough. We barely do anything. We barely accomplish any mission. Okay. But yes, all of the previous broadcasts are uploaded to YouTube.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Not a playthrough. Keep that in mind.
Oh yeah. I mean, and people who have seen it, like one of the top clips is there was a joke because DP could not understand when people were saying, okay, you're in your parachute, press X to glide. And X just releases you from the parachute. There's no glide button. So every time he fell for it. I want to say like 4 or 5 times before he caught on. And he was singing Rocky Mountain High. And he let go, just plummets to the ground. And you see like there's a shot of me watching him in a parachute. I put up the scope so I can see him better and just go, woo.
That sounds fun.
Just so much fun.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
That's it. My number 1.
All right. Co, what's your number 1?
My number 1 game that I really just enjoyed playing this year. I was introduced to it for the first time this year. I was very, very not really sold by it when I started. In fact, I'd had a bad experience with it. I ended up completely falling in love with it. And it was one of the more fun community games I played. And that game was Warframe.
Makes sense.
It was Warframe. It was my very first time in Warframe this year. Not only was the community extremely welcoming, Digital Extremes is just awesome. I'm a Warframe partner now. Like it's I went back for Fortuna, still play a little bit offline every now and then. Like it's a really solid, great game. And I cannot wait to see what's coming with Railjack and the other fun stuff down the road, the new frames that are coming out. Like it's pretty awesome. It's pretty great. I had a great time streaming it this year.
Yeah, that was one of those games that all 3 of us, I think what was it that got me to play it? Maybe Ann talked about it at one point, and then I brought it on Drop Frames. I was like, hey, you guys should check out this Warframe thing. It's pretty good. And then Co just fucking went crazy with it. And Zeke went even like you guys both, all 3 of us played a lot of Warframe, but you 2 specifically were about it in 2018. So I'm not surprised to see that you're number 1 at all.
This is my offline game.
Yeah.
I got about 300 hours logged.
Jesus. Jesus. That's a lot. For me, we've kind of discussed this. Co kind of nailed it on talking about how, for whatever reason, I didn't start out the year wanting to play this game. It never crossed my mind that I would play it, and let alone be as into it as I was. And I can't really... It's more of the franchise and not a singular game. But just playing all the Kingdom Hearts from start to finish. I don't know what it was about that. I found a weird and interesting community I didn't know existed on Twitch, and that is the Kingdom Hearts viewers. They go from stream to stream for people that have never... I saw a bunch of familiar names in Dan's stream yesterday. People that I had met when I started playing Kingdom Hearts on this channel. So it was a pretty fun ride. I had a lot of fun with that stuff. I can't wait, like I said, for Kingdom Hearts 3. It'll be good. I'm hoping. It'll be good regardless of if it sucks for me, because I put so much fucking time into it that even if it's the worst game possible, I'll still get some enjoyment out of it. So yeah, that was my number 1 streamed game of the year. And that's our list. Now it gets real. Now we jump into our top 10 list for game of the year. So I guess we should just do this. Let's go over here. I also think I have to read. You changed stuff in this list as well, right?
I did.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me reload it then before we start revealing stuff. Hopefully that works. Okay. I'll start since Zeke started last time. My number 10, and keep in mind, we're going to reiterate this. These are our personal list. These are not what we deem to be the best games of the year. These are what we think are our favorite games, our favorite personal games. We don't do a dropped frames game of the year where we decide between the three of us a top 10 list. We do our own personal list. So don't get too fucking crazy when a game shows up on here. It does not show up on here in a place that you do or do not want it to be. For me, my number 10 game of the year, Zeke mentioned it earlier, and I was pretty excited going into it. But I think it's just one of those games where there's nothing quite like it. And it pushed where you guys were talking about, what was that game? The Telltale-ish game where you played last week or 2 weeks ago? The Council.
Oh, The Council, yeah.
It pushed that, whatever that genre is, the Telltale genre, forward in a different way, one that I hope it goes down. And that is A Way Out. I think A Way Out was a really good game, and I absolutely enjoyed playing it. It was unbelievably unique. The way that it handled the storytelling and the way that it did like the weird, like someone, I think when they first pitched, they're like, oh yeah, it's split screen. And I think everyone, I know I was, they thought it was just going to be like split down the middle, vertical, horizontal, and never move. And the game did crazy things where it like shifted like this and made one side smaller and one side bigger. And it in full screen, it did some really interesting stuff. So for me, it was, that's why it's my number 10. Really enjoyed A Way Out. It was a lot of fun.
Agreed. Great game.
Who
did you play with?
I played with Ann. Me and Ann. Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. A very dry playthrough. If you,
yeah.
Very particular in our humor. So if you go back and watch it, you wouldn't think that me and her enjoyed it necessarily, but we did. There just wasn't that much excitement on me and her face. Well, that was a pretty good game.
Probably the polar opposite of my playthrough with Scott.
Without a doubt.
And
ours was wet.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, Zeke's was pretty wet. Ours is, very dry humor. What was your number 10?
My number 10, we've talked about it already. I weirdly enough, I didn't finish it, but I did spend over 100 hours in it. Pathfinder Kingmaker. When this game is complete, when this game is finished, it's going to be one of the best CRPGs of all time, hands down. It's very rare that you get an RPG with this much depth on top of an awesome rule system based on 6 books. So, I mean, there's so much in it that it's just fantastic. And when it gets to the point where it is fully done, which hopefully will be in the next few months, because I really want to start my playthrough, I'm very excited to spend possibly another 100+ hours exploring this world and going through it again. So it's a fantastic game. Again, probably going to be one of the best CRPGs ever made when it's done. If not, arguably, like I was getting Baldur's Gate 2 vibes from this game, and I didn't even get all the way through it. So it's a very, very great game, and I can't wait to dive back into the finished product.
Nice.
You think I'd like it?
No, way too big. Way too big. Like it, and I had to do hours of research to learn how the mechanics work properly in the Pathfinder rule set. It's tough. I'd honestly much rather see you play Kenshi.
Play what?
I'd much rather watch you play Kenshi. Like I think Kenshi
okay.
would be a much better option. Yeah.
Gotcha. Apologies, they're doing some sawing right now in the roleplay the roleplay studio, so I'll mute my mic through this. But Zeke, your number 10.
Number 10. Now I played 130 games this year, so I had to pare that down. Like 130 eligible choices, most of which obviously were indie games from like Indie Sundays that I played like varying degrees of like 5 minutes to an hour of. But it was a daunting task to go through them. And I whittled it down to 20. And I just kind of had to edge out like fun. I just want to say like what games were the most fun. And I had to like stick with that. Number 10, Fist of the North Star.
Oh, cool. How far did you end up getting in that one?
I finished it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Fist of the North Star, motherfucker. It was so much fun. It was just dumb fucking fun. It was violence. It was fast. It was loud. It was. It was every time. I would say it every fucking time. And of course, mishear stuff like chocolate skin. He didn't say chocolate skin, but it sounded like he would finish a move and go, chocolate skin. But that's not what he said at all. But it sounded like that after a while. That's all I could hear. But like it was just violence and fun and fighting. And it was just great. Over the top, exaggerated, terrible. Bad guys are bad. Good guys are good. The driving was a little dumb, but the fighting was just so good. And I had a blast playing it. And yeah, it was just popcorn, like a good action movie.
Awesome. What's your number 9?
Number 9 had to be on the list somewhere. Celeste. Celeste, number 9. Obvious reasons. Most people have heard about it. Most people have seen it. A lot of people played it. It's a fucking fantastic game. Everything in the right place. The music, the platforming, the challenge, the art, like the feeling of it. It's just a solid, really, really good game. And a platformer with some emotion to it, which I really, really enjoy when you can do it and do it right.
Yeah, many people don't know, but Celeste is actually a French game, and they call it Celeste, the way it's spelled right there. There's no E at the end of it. So,
oh, that was my bad. I forgot the E on the end. That was actually no. I'm looking at. I have my list open. I forgot the E on the end. That was my bad.
Oh, man, now I got to start yelling at you guys to spell check. Yell at Daniel to spell.
No, I know how to spell.
Sorry,
I just fucked up.
thought we were submitting these to a professional. I'll have to keep that in mind.
I know. There's just spell checking all across the board. I can't look at it.
Yeah. Well, I fucked that up. I'm sorry. But yes, Celeste definitely deserved a spot on my top 10. And there it is, number 9.
Awesome stuff. Ko, you're number 9.
My number 9, we haven't talked about this game, and frankly, not enough people have, because this game is awesome. They basically completely reworked another game to fit into this one, added an incredible story, insanely great, meaningful decisions on top of amazing voice acting. My 9th game is Thronebreaker by CD Projekt Red, and it was great. And not enough people played it because it's awesome.
It was surprisingly good. I will admit it. I got sponsored. I was like, I liked Gwen. Let me see. And I played it and I went, this is fucking better than I thought. Like, it's good. There's some definite like potential there for sure.
The only issue with Thronebreaker was it did release with some weird balance issues, but from what I understand, they are being or have been fixed. I'm not sure which one yet because I finished my playthrough completely. I did a 100% run, had a great time. But yeah, from what I understand, they're getting that under control. So, but it's a great game, and they completely somehow turned Gwent into like an RPG progression. Like it, still crazy to me that they came up with that. It's
that was my
it's cool.
That was my favorite thing about the game was doing the puzzles, like the puzzle sections. Like those are fucking awesome. A lot of people were like, "This, I hated them," but I look forward to them I would skip everything else and just do the puzzle ones.
Those were extremely fun. Agreed.
I'm trying to think if I probably wouldn't enjoy that, right? That's not a me game.
You might.
Okay.
I'd be on the fence, but I think you might like it. If you did you play any of the Witchers?
Yeah.
But I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of Gwent.
Dude, just for the record, I completely skipped Gwent. I never even opened the Gwent standalone at any point. And when I started Thronebreaker, knowing that, I was very worried. I was like, is Thronebreaker just going to be a bunch of normal Gwent matches with a story? Because in that case, I'm not really into it. But then you get to your first camp upgrade, and you start seeing your cards change and shit, and you see the skill trees, and you're like, oh, this is different. And then it starts kind of like becoming very cool. You basically upgrade your card army like you would in an RPG. You pick what cards get upgraded. Doing different RPG events will give you different hero cards that can completely change how you play. Like it's cool, man. It's a really well thought out game. Except for the
deck building aspect is very very good. Like I love the deck building. Like that's one of the reasons why I like Magic, Slay the Spire, like that kind of shit. Deck building for sure.
Nice. My number 9 is a game that I would not have played if it was not for Zeke. He multiple times on the show, told me to play it, told me that I would enjoy it. And funny enough, we ranked it at the same spot. Celeste was also my number 9 game of the year.
You spelled it right.
Yeah,
my game's different.
That's true. Your game, you got the European version.
Yeah, the Spanish version.
Yeah, the Spanish version. Yeah, it was a good game. I didn't even touch the B and C sides, which, according to a lot of purists of the game, or even just fans of the game, is the full game, is the real game. But I just played like the A side, the main stuff, I guess you would say, and had an absolute blast with it. It only took me, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours. It was a single stream, and I had a great time with it. It was one of those platformers that starts out very simple, and they start adding stuff over time. Then by the time you get to the very end, all of that stuff is happening at once, and you're just kind of running through it without question. And it did a great job of building on itself the entire game to make that happen. And so I had an absolute blast with Celeste. I cannot recommend it enough. As I take a look at the list, I guess it was my favorite platformer of the year, but I didn't play The Messenger, which I think is also one of those games that a lot of people would hold in high regard as being a platform this year. So might be something I check out in 2019.
I think the version of Celeste you got was the one without strawberries, and I got the one with it.
That might,
you
yeah.
See any in
Everyone
your game,
knows
right?
Europeans don't like strawberries because I didn't get a single fucking one. Here in America, we just eat fried strawberries. They didn't have those in the game, but the normal fruit you did. So
I got to credit that one in chat. That was a good one. Holski said that. Zeke got the version with strawberries, and I thought that was a pretty good joke.
I would walk in rooms, see a strawberry, and just go, well, fuck that room. And just leave immediately because I was not interested. Some of those were difficult, man. I didn't want to sit there and think about it too much. So I just continued on the main path. That was number 9. Number 8, I did not actually have it in my original list until I realized that it came out this year because I was just looking at the games that I played all year long. It was also one of those games where I didn't know that I had a phobia, and now I know I have a phobia, but I know that I actually was able to conquer it a little bit. My number 8 game is Subnautica. I had the greatest time with Subnautica after I decided that I could go further than 10 feet deep, even though I was fucking terrified. I also never saw the, what's the guy that you could see at the very beginning, Co? If you get too close to the big ship? The Reaper. I never actually...
the Reaper.
Yeah. I never saw a Reaper face to face because I was so terrified. I heard him. I knew that he was near. I just never got close enough to actually see him.
Did you beat it?
Yep. I finished it, and I never saw him. But yeah,
nice.
That game, until you get your big ship, that game is fucking terrifying. To just swim around in that little tiny ship when it's just pitch black outside and you can't see anything. And even just like a normal fish coming into your FOV was absolutely terrifying. But I had a great time with it. And I cannot recommend it enough. That game was free over the holiday weekend. And if you didn't grab it, man, you fucked up without a doubt. It's a hell of a game. It's a hell of a game.
It was another one of those ones that was on my list for like biggest disappointment because I wanted to love it. I wanted to love it so bad. I really did. And it just missed the mark for me.
I get it. I understand it. I mean, it's not for everyone.
Coward.
It's coward's move.
Coward? To say I don't like Subnautica? I think that's pretty brave. I think I get a brave gold star for that.
Fair enough.
You might be right. You might be right. Co, what was your number 8 game of the year?
My number 8 came out of nowhere. I honestly was not expecting to like this game as much, but by the time I finished it, I was like, not only did this push a genre forward that I felt really needs to be pushed forward, but the characters were great, the story was great, the puzzles were completely next level. I think I loved The Council. I loved it. It was much better than I thought it would be. And by the time I got to the end of it, knowing that there's a lot of different endings you can get, and I had this, well, funny enough, me and Zeke ran into this cool kind of parallel thing because we both, little spoiler here, we both just happened to do a little bit of extra exploring towards the end of the game and just happened to find this key item, which then shaped our ending. And I said the exact same thing. I actually tuned into Zeke's stream because I saw his thumbnail was towards the end, and I was like, oh man, let's see what happens to him. And funny enough, he gave this dagger to the guy, and I was like, oh, he's screwed. He's totally screwed. Because that's what I used in my game to get him. And then sure enough, it goes to Zeke's playthrough, and he had something I didn't have. And he was like, oh man, I'm glad I just picked that up. And I was like,
Yep.
What? I was like, this is so cool.
Yep.
Like it was really great. It was like it's a fun game. It's very, very deep. Like in terms of like even to the point where like the paintings in people's rooms are symbolic. Like there's so much care in the game, and it follows along with history, and all the figures in it are historical, and they all embody their historical figures. It's just a really well-made game. And frankly, I can't wait to see what else this company comes up with. I hope there's a council too, because I'd love to see like where these characters are going, especially once you get to the end of council. You're basically walking on eggshells the whole game trying to figure out what's going on. And then like in chapters 4 and 5, these big reveals happen, and you're just like, am I even still playing the game I started? Like, it's so crazy how everything just warps throughout the course of the game. And then when the game ends, it's kind of like, I want to know where this is going. Like, what happens now? Like, oh my God, I want to see what this guy's life is like. So yeah, it was great. It was really well made a really well made game, really well done. And yeah, it's good. I recommend the council.
Small spoiler, it didn't crack my top 10, but it was definitely like 11 or 12.
Okay.
For sure. It was really, really good game.
How long did it take the two of you each to finish it? I think I asked this to Co, but I'm just curious. In like, one, I'll ask the question: do you think I would enjoy it? As someone who's enjoyed, Telltale games, Tales from the Borderlands, that type of stuff. Pretty
Yes.
okay. I'd be into it. That might be one of
If
the
you
games
like
to check
those
out.
kind of games, you bet.
Okay.
I think it was like probably anywhere between 11 and 14 hours.
Okay.
I played through the first episode twice back when it was released, and then I came back and did a full beginning to end playthrough. So I think it was like between probably like 11 and 15.
Might be one of those games I check out before, because there's nothing. This January is pretty dry, so might be one of
I
those.
put
Games
25 into it.
Okay.
That's me though.
Yeah.
That's
No,
me.
I know.
So
I know.
cut off like 10 hours.
Yeah. No, I compare the two. Zeke, what was your number 8 game of the year?
Number 8 game of the year. Some of the best combination of art and music. It was like number 2 and 3 for both art and music for me, but it couldn't get the number 1 spot for either of those for reasons we already discussed. But it was an experience. It was a game, a video game as art. Gris. Man, it's short game, but wasn't an experience. It was a definite experience. It's rare when a video game can elicit such a deep emotional impact from anybody, me included. It was so good for what it was. It was like playing a cartoon. Can I say cartoon? Jesus Christ. Can I say it? It was like playing an animated feature film. How about that?
Okay.
It's pronounced
the mechanics.
Yeah, it's animated.
Yeah, exactly. The mechanics of the game, the gameplay of it wasn't super difficult or challenging very much, but going through it, the sights and sounds were phenomenal. It was really good and encapsulated by the end, super awesome ending, and just like I said, tears. I rolled a couple of tears at the end, and that's without any words. I don't think there was any words, right?
If any. Few sound effects here and there.
Yeah, no actual intelligible words or speech.
I don't believe so.
All right. Yeah, I'll play it. You guys convinced me. I'll play it and feel bad that it wasn't on my top 10 list. Zeke, what was your number 7?
Number 7, my multiplayer game of the year, and a fucking good game. Solid Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Really? That's
So good.
okay.
So much fun. It's an absolute blast to play with and against people, but also it's fun. It's even fun to play on your own, and it has a lot of content, even solo. So yes, Super Smash Brothers, not much to say about it. It's fantastic, and it's the best, like I said, it's the best Smash since Melee.
All right. Maybe I'll pick it up too. Co, what was your number 7?
My number 7, everyone knew was going to be on this list somewhere because I've put literally hundreds of hours into this game. It's a fantastic game. I didn't play it too much this year, but I have played it so many times in the past, and I'm sure I'll return to it because I always do. It's freaking RimWorld. I love RimWorld. It finally released this year, and it deserves a spot. It's a fantastic game. Can't recommend it enough to people that like those types of kind of survivally random encounter types of games. I've played it 50 different ways, and there's a million other ways I could play it. It's just a great game. So my number 7 is RimWorld.
All right. My number 7. Second time the game's been brought up. First award though. However, people know I like JRPGs. They know I like old franchises that have been kind of brought back, so to speak, into the current gen.
DQ something different.
Yeah. So I got into Dragon Quest XI this year and had an absolute blast. This game would have been so much higher if the fucking music wasn't just the worst. If it just wasn't so bad, it would have been so much higher. I absolutely loved the combat in this game. I thought the characters were super interesting. One of them even almost topped Christopher Judge for me with Sylvando. I think he was the first scene that I saw him. I thought, oh God, not like this guy. And then by the end of it, I was like, he's the best. He's the best character.
He's the best, right? Yeah, totally. I totally had that feeling too. I was like, they could go really wrong with this.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
It
was nice.
It was awesome.
It was fun.
Yeah. Had a blast with Dragon Quest XI. Still one of those games that I never actually got, like, quote, the real ending. But it just because you have to grind for so fucking long to actually see that shit. But I did beat the game and saw credits. So that was about 90 hours, I think.
It was, if not the top 12, definitely top 15. It was edged out by other games as far as like my favorites. But God, I had a blast playing it.
Yeah, absolute gem. Definitely pick it up if you haven't. Grab the PC version as well, because then it can actually get the...
It needs to be mobile, man. It needs to be on mobile. Something mobile.
Isn't it coming to Switch? I thought that was a thing.
Is it?
If it's not, I think that was a rumor.
I'll pick it back up again if it is.
Yeah, I want to say that's coming to Switch. If not, I agree with you. It should be coming to Switch. Yeah, it is. Okay, it is. Yeah, perfect place to play it is on the Switch, without a doubt.
Yep.
It's a perfect game to pick up and put down. Yeah. My number 6 game that's already brought up. I've brought up multiple times. I think it's not going to pop up on either of y'all's list. Hell, I don't even know if you played it. It was Blackout. And I say Blackout because it's Call of Duty 4 Call of Duty Black Ops 4, but I only played Blackout. It was the only portion of that game I actually gave a shit about was the BR mode. But I enjoyed it so much that it cracked this. It brought BR games back into the fold for me. And I absolutely enjoyed every single second with it. And they made a bunch of updates to it, so I might revisit it.
Would you say it's your favorite BR?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. Okay. No, everything pales in comparison to it. I'm not a builder.
Have you played Fortnite though?
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
I'm not a builder. I hate Minecraft. Let's just make all the things that'll trigger people. Impossible. I hate Minecraft. I hate building. So yeah, it is without a doubt my favorite BR game. And I one of those games too, where if we had like a biggest surprise or something like that, that would be on the list because a Call of Duty game in 2018 being on my Game of the Year list, what the actual fuck? But they went and made a good BR, so that's why it's on there. What was your number 6 Game of the Year?
My number 6 was a great game. I really enjoyed 90% of it. There were parts of it that weren't exactly my speed, but I still had a really good time with it. I enjoyed the characters, although I felt like there could have been more and definitely more meaningful relationships between them. My number 6 was God of War.
Okay.
Number
6.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what's on your list. No, I'm real curious to see what's on your list. Yeah. All right. Short and sweet. Zeke.
Where's all the question marks, guys? Where's all the question marks?
Oh God, Zeke, what was your number 6? And then we'll go outside and beat co-op.
This is where we get to the chunk of games for me personally that might be a little off the beaten path, and it's because I play a lot of I play and try a lot of different games, a lot of indie games, a lot of this and that. But my number 6 game of the year and favorite, because let me reiterate, this is not what I think should win. This is what won me over. Number 6, This Is the Police 2.
You loved the first one.
You did speak very highly.
One.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I love the second one too. I had so much fun playing it again. The characters, the voice acting was fucking good as it was before. The feeling, the just sheer like joy of being like feeling like a police chief and having like, you know, that like cigarette smoking police chief, like get out there and get it, you know, take care of that. There's a fire over on 8th Street. You got to get out there. It's just so much fun. Like just like kind of RPing that kind of aspect of it. And it was so noir, so like detective, like this guy's been beat down and beat up. He's like, you're typical anti-hero kind of a guy, but you're really rooting for him kind of a thing. So much fun playing this as a Police 2. Number 6, they added a new element in this one, which was kind of like an XCOM style fight, a turn-based thing that you like put like skill tree ability points into on the main game, and the side game was that. A lot of people hated it because of that, because they didn't like that addition. I loved that addition to it, and I liked putting points into certain things to make things easier or whatever, that kind of shit. But yeah, this is Police 2. I loved it.
Yep.
And my number 5 game was a game that I didn't think I would play this year because I was like, I could put that off. And then I looked at the other games like that were possible game of the year material, and I went, I don't think I want to play Pathfinder. I don't think I want to play, you know, this game or that game or the other game. I'm going to play Leisure Suit Larry. And it was fucking awesome.
Nice.
It was so fucking fun. It was perfectly tongue-in-cheek. Really, like it was faithful to the source material, but it wasn't like overly sexual. It didn't feel like it was trying too hard. It was corny. It was cheesy. There was sexual content, but never tried to be too gross or too graphic. It was adventure point and click all the way through. Nothing too challenging or difficult. It was surprisingly well voiced, surprisingly good music, and it made me laugh all the way through it. It was so much fun, and there's like references galore to like old games, old Leisure Suit games, old adventure games, and just pop culture shit. For someone like me, pop culture references really like strike home. And I had so much fun playing it. Did not think I was like, oh, I'll play it, you know, I'll like it like I do every other point and click. But this one, like, they did a very fucking good job.
Huh. I'm surprised to see it that high on your list, not because of my thoughts on the game, but because of how recent and how you spoke of it when we had it on the show. And we talked about it on the show. So glad I'm glad it's there.
Like I think we're gonna go to this is all just for leaders. Go ahead.
Okay.
I was gonna say I think we're gonna do the Steam page for this. Oh, did you say go ahead? Am I confused?
No, I told you there's gonna be a longer delay. I told you there's a longer delay.
We're gonna go to the Steam page for Leisure Suit Larry, and it's gonna be like one of those quotes. It's gonna be like Ezekiel III's top 6 game of the year.
Well, I was just gonna mention again that this is not what I think deserves. Like I wasn't thinking what deserves to win the game. It's what game did I have the most fun playing?
Makes sense. I think at this point, as we have gotten into the top 5s, I don't want to say archetype, but the games that you would expect to show up on each of our top 5s, if you watch the shows before, are going to be here. Because we are all very specific in the type of games that we like, and I think you're going to start to see that right now. So, Ko, what was your number 5?
My number 5, we've talked about a little bit before, was in one of my favorite categories. It's definitely what I would like to call a success story because of the way that it released and then what it became. I had a great time playing it. It was a throwback to a style of older gaming that was brought into the new world, or today's world, in a new and interesting way. And I absolutely loved my playthrough of Bard's Tale 4. There are very, very few games as interesting and in-depth as Bard's Tale 4. I still had some problems with it, but exploring that world, the puzzles, you could almost call it a puzzle game. It was a great experience, and I loved every minute that I played it. And I really hope maybe sometime down the road we get some DLC or something for it, because I will be all over it.
All right. Bard's Tale.
And yes, for those saying in chat,
like,
I liked Bard's Tale 4 more than God of War because it's much more my speed. That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah. No, don't worry about that. They'll shut up about that as soon as I reveal my number 5, Co. They'll get on me in about 15 seconds. This
No, Bard's Tale was the number
11,
13 or 14 for me too.
Yeah. Okay.
It barely got cracked out or edged out.
All right. My number 5 is a game that we have not talked about on the show today. And in the past, we didn't see eye to eye, I guess is how I'll put it, with me and Co. On this game. I like stabbing dudes. And when they put a good story next to it, and then when they, make a long, very huge world with it, and they throw in some lore in there, I'm all about it. So Assassin's Creed Odyssey is my number 5 game of the year. Regardless of all the microtransactions bullshit. And that's one of the reasons why it wasn't on my top game streamed this year. Because let me tell you, that game was not fun to stream, having to talk about microtransactions every fucking day. All goddamn day. But I have just the most fun with it. And I really want to go back to they've put so much free DLC into it now that I think there's another like 10, 15 hours worth of jumping into it. So I absolutely love that game. And I hope that they did it. It's still, the other one that they made, Origins, is basically the same game. It's just a different story. And I hope that they continue down that path and continue to iterate on it, because I think that's a good direction for Assassin's Creed. I think the changes that they also made to it patch-wise made the game better in terms of over-leveling and all that stuff. But controversies aside, I really, really enjoyed ACO. And I hope that they don't go back to releasing a new one every single year. But we'll see. There's not one announced for 2019 yet. We'll see what happens. That's my number 5. My number 4, we have talked about a lot. I think that this game finally showed to the rest of, I don't want to say developers. Spider-Man, I feel like, was the first game from a comic book world, from something that's just taken over like the cinema world, to finally get into games, and they finally did it right. They finally made a good superhero video game, and I hope that more games follow suit, because fuck me, man, I would love to see an Avengers. I'd love to see an throw any Avenger in there, throw any of the superheroes in there, and I'd be playing it day one, regardless of who it was, if it was made in the same quality and with the same amount of passion for the characters that they had.
What do you think of the Batman games?
Awesome. I think the Batman definitely took that mantle up first. But I guess in Marvel's world, Spider-Man's definitely the first one to do that. Because the last Marvel game that I enjoyed was probably Ultimate Alliance 2, which was fucking old. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've put out some stinkers. So I hope that we get more games of that ilk from the superhero world for sure.
I love chat erupting when they forget that Batman is not Marvel.
Yeah. Co, you're number 4.
Sure. By the way, real quick, to address something I just noticed in chat, we do not check our lists beforehand. These all just express our personal tastes. So somebody said it's weird the lists are so varied. This is just how we are. We're 3 different types of gamers. So this happens every year pretty much.
Totally.
Number 4.
This is why this show works.
Yeah. Pretty much, dude. We're just 3 different points on a triangle.
Yeah.
One thing that I want to say about my number 4 choice is the reason that I picked this game was because it was exceptionally unique. We play thousands of games, and when a game comes along that does something completely off the beaten path and does it in a way that's enjoyable, interesting, and in this case, really makes you think, it's something special. My number 4 is the return to the Obra Dinn.
Wow. Okay.
I had a great time with this game. And more importantly, when people said, I kept getting the question, oh, what would you compare this game to? Nothing. I wouldn't compare Obra Dinn to anything. It is a risk. It is a chance. It was like a brainchild of somebody that like I don't even know if they were a gamer. Like it's more of an investigation simulation. It's a great game, and I had a great time playing it along with my community. Thankfully, not a lot of people had played it when I played it, so we were all like thousands of us kind of going through it together, and people were throwing out tips and hey, did he notice this? Did he notice that? Like, you know, and it was a lot of fun, man. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, I really enjoyed it.
It's one of those games where I wish the developer would make a game, or rather, make a game that would be of the genre that I would like. Because I wasn't the biggest Papers, Please fan, just because it's not my type of game. I wasn't the biggest Return of Obra Dinn fan because it's just not my type of game. But I respect the fact that it's like one dude making crazy fucking unique shit that no one else is making. So that has me just excited to see what the fuck he does next, regardless of if I'm going to like it or not.
True story, man.
I hope he makes one that I enjoy, or rather that I can sink my teeth into for sure.
Did you try it at all?
No, it was one of those games where I opened up multiple streams. It was like, oh God, just closed it immediately. Not because of the way it looked, but because it was a puzzle game, ultimately, somewhat.
Right? Yeah, investigation. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
a mystery.
So, yep. Zeke, you're number 4.
Number 4. Once again, it right at the end, I was trying to stack up as many games as I could to get this list rounded out. I had a whole like line by line, like this game, and I had to like eliminate several of them because I didn't have time before the cutoff date. And I'm so fucking glad that JP suggested this game to me because I immediately fell in love with it, and I didn't think I would. Number 4, Astro Bot. Rescue Mission.
Okay.
Astro Bot Rescue Mission.
Damn, dude. I'm going to have to check that game out.
It's supposed to be really good.
The best VR
man.
game that I've ever played besides Resident Evil. It was so goddamn good.
Did you finish it?
I looked at the box. No, I didn't even finish it. I looked at the box and I looked at the box art and I went, this game is going to be fucking cutesy and I'm going to hate it. It's not going to be for me. It's for everybody. You'd have to have no heart or soul to not like this game. The way they do it in PSVR, you are this like floating, like Rob the Robot. You're like this floating version of Rob the Robot, remote controlling the Astro Bot, and it's platforming. It's 3D like Super Mario World or Super Mario 64 like platforming, and you look around to find hidden things. You're in this great environment sometimes, like underwater, in caves, like in a construction site and all this kind of stuff. And like, in order to find like hidden objects, you like have to peek around stuff or like physically turn around and look behind you. You can play it sitting down. You're not moving, or you do move through the level, but it's a start and stop kind of a thing where you're hovering kind of over it and you're playing with this like little remote control robot. That's just the most adorable fucking thing you've ever seen. You're jumping, you're platforming, you're finding secret coins. You're trying to find the chameleon in every level, which is like this hidden object thing that you have to like spot and then stare at for a little bit in order to get it. That kind of thing. And it's gorgeous.
Huh.
And the music is fucking fantastic too. It's so like well done and adorable that you wouldn't think I would like looking at me or knowing my kind of game. You wouldn't think that I wouldn't think that this would be a game for me. It totally was. Fell in love with it immediately. Could not recommend it to everyone of every age. It's fantastic.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm gushing.
We're going to talk about it next
good.
week. We're going to watch some footage of yours because I might just bust it out off stream upstairs or something like that and just see how much streaming VR games just sucks, especially when you can't see the chat. We've talked about that before. So I'm reluctant to actually stream it, but I definitely want to play it. So.
Oh, and quick shout out to everybody who joined me in the Discord call, because I think that's what I'm going to do with VR games from now on, is have a couple of either viewers or mods in a Discord call to feed me chat.
Oh, that's
great
smart
idea.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Great idea.
It's not a bad idea.
So thank you to everybody who joined me.
Awesome stuff. All right, we're in our top 3. Zeke, you're up first. Number 3.
Oh shit! Well, that's right. We're curving back around.
Yeah, we're curving back around.
Number 3. This game had all like tons of elements that I absolutely love. It had a sense of humor. It had turn-based combat. It had cool graphics with mutants and stuff. Mutant Year Zero: Road to Eden.
Wow.
Boy, did I love this game. I fucking loved this game. It had everything, ticked all kinds of boxes that I love. I love XCOM style combat. I love a game that pokes fun at itself with a sense of humor, but also has the sense to take itself seriously at times. The story, I loved the story. It was light. I mean, it was light on actual story, but they took it so seriously, and it was so investing. The voice acting was fucking great. There was a couple of things that I wish were a little bit different. The camera on the overworld was a little funky to get used to, but the mechanics of it, being able to start combat when you wanted, to sneak around combat if you choose, to pick off people one at a time, or just fucking go in loud and noisy. The options there were fucking awesome. The relationship between the characters was great. Just fantastic game all the way through. Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Awesome. Huh. Okay. I'm wondering if that's going to show up on Koza. I could not guess either of y'all's top three. So Ko, surprise me with your third pick. Here we go.
Okay. This is a game that I spent over 60 hours in. I was extremely hyped for it. When it came out, it had some issues that actually affected our playthrough, but I still really enjoyed it. I love the company behind it, and they buckled down and spent months making it something amazing. Planning another playthrough of it this year. I can't wait to dive into it when I do. My third top game is Pillars of Eternity 2.
Okay. All right. I think it says...
The thing here that really was something special was not only did they introduce a ton of new mechanics to an existing genre, which I have a huge amount of respect for, but it was fully voice acted as a CRPG. And especially these days as a streamer, I can't tell you how awesome it was knowing that every single person you clicked on would have their own voice, their own dialogue. I mean, it was awesome. And frankly, I can't wait to go back and play it, because not only am I doing a completely different character, but there's 3 DLCs out that are all doing well. And also they put me in the game, so I can actually pick me as a portrait now.
Oh, that's awesome. Is it like your photo, or did you make a character?
They took one of my D-Day photos and they had their local artist. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm actually one of the selectable portraits now. It's pretty great.
That's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, I that was one of those games where I didn't expect to enjoy, and I ended up playing it and beating it. And for me to beat a CRPG, especially one of that length, I think speaks to the quality of it, because I quit those games as fast as I pick them up. So it was a fun playthrough for sure. So I'm interested to see all the changes once you jump into it, because you said that they've made a shit ton of changes to that game. I'm curious to see how it goes. My number 3 shouldn't really come as a surprise. Maybe. I haven't talked about it too much. The fact that it's a Tetris game showing up anywhere in 2018, in being this good, it just blows my mind. That I wasn't even a fan of the original Tetris. I wasn't a fan of like Puyo Tetris, whatever the fuck it is. I wasn't a fan of Tetris Towers or whatever that game is. But this one, I think the VR aspect of it, where Astro Bot was Zeke's favorite VR game, this is my favorite VR, without question. I still, to this day, play it. I've been playing it almost every other night. I just sit there and wind down and do like a level or 2 in VR and forget about everything else that's fucking happening. It's one of the only games that can get me to forget about things, because you have to stay so focused in on what you're doing. And for that, I think it's my third best game of the year. Play it. Play the VR portion too if you can, not just the normal portion.
I do not blame you.
Yeah.
It didn't make my top 10 list because it wasn't enough. Like I want like more of a narrative. Like I know it has one.
Yeah.
But I want more laid out stuff, more intricate.
Sure.
Shit like that.
I get it.
But definitely, like, I do not blame you for that. It's fucking astounding how good it is.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
Looking forward to trying that one.
I cannot wait for you to try it. Only because you're either going to be like, man, those two are stupid, or you're going to be like, oh, and you'll get it. It's going to be a strong reaction one way or the other. My number 2, as we move on to that spot, is a game that hours-wise shouldn't come as a surprise. And I've played other games in this genre. I was not a was not a virgin to the series, but I think they absolutely knocked it out of the park. I'm actually thinking about jumping back in January and checking out all the updates that came from the console version to play the PC version. It's Monster Hunter World. I fucking loved playing that game. I played it, as we talked about earlier, I played it primarily solo, had a blast of a time doing it. When I did have to group up with people to farm items, it was fine. I think that they really fucked up the multiplayer portion of that game in terms of actually getting people into your party. It was the biggest monstrosity of Japanese game development I've ever seen. But apart from that, the actual hunting, the actual minute-to-minute gameplay, the grinding of it was just a fucking blast, and I cannot recommend it enough. Hell of a game with Monster Hunter World. Co, you're number 2.
My number 2, I have done no less than 4 playthroughs of that I have gone beginning to end as far as I can possibly do over the years. This game has been a foundation in my gaming. I've returned to it multiple times. I've been following its progress, and I can't wait for its standalone expansion coming out this year. My second game of the year is Subnautica.
Damn. I am surprised, to say the least, but I guess it makes sense. That you played
dude, Subnautica is such a great game. Like it hits so many bases. Every time I played it differently. Had a great time each time. Completely different styles of bases. It's got base building. It's got exploration. It's got story. It even sort of has characters, like through the logs and stuff. It's really funny because people like we're talking about the Fallout 76 stuff with the logs and everything, and all I can think of the whole time is like, that's kind of how Subnautica does it. But I guess we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the reasons I really didn't. I mean, there were plenty of problems in that game, but that wasn't one of them for me. But yeah, so the game itself is fantastic. I love that the devs stuck with it. They turned it into a fully finished beginning to end experience, relatively bug free, all feature rich and awesome. And then they're just taking it to the next level with this ice expansion coming up. Cannot wait to dive into that. And yeah, it's a great game. Couldn't recommend it more.
When does that ice expansion supposed to come out?
Supposed to be Q1 of this year, but honestly, we're not quite sure like how early they're going to release it. They already said they're taking a similar course to Subnautica, where it's going to release as early access and they're going to develop it along with feedback. Okay. So we don't really know like at what state it is and at what state they're going to release it. So I don't think we have an exact. Oh, it's fall 2019 now. People are saying.
Okay. All right.
Oh, fall 2019 for the release and early access potentially as early as this month. We'll have to see.
I'm there. Whenever they put it out.
This is one of the reasons why I think the show works, and it's been going on for as long as it has, because Ko says base building exploration, and he's like, yay! I hear base building exploration. I'm like, I'm gonna hate it. I will hate this game. And that's exactly what happened with Subnautica. I was like, man, this game is gorgeous. It has great music, but fuck, is it boring?
I think, and for me, I look at Subnautica. I don't think it's a base building game. I don't think it's an exploration. I think that game's a fucking survival horror game. Like, it is the complete opposite experience for me. But I still had a fucking blast. That's why it's number 8.
We can't even agree on the genres of these games.
I know, man. Because look, I'm telling you, the first cave that I entered in Subnautica, and one of those things exploded. It was a moment of, oh, fuck, what the fuck? Jesus Christ.
And then, sound they make when they're on their way to you?
Yeah, and from that point on...
Like a screamer from that old robot movie?
Yeah, dude. From that point on, I was on edge for the entire, 20 or 30 hours that I was in that game. And there was a moment of, oh, thank God. The second I got back into my hatch, because I knew that nothing could actually, come and fucking attack me when I was inside the base that I built. But the second I left, I was tearing ass to the fucking Leviathan because I felt safe in that thing. So yeah, completely different games. We got completely different things out of that game, Co, without a doubt.
Dude, in the expansion, you return from a ship. So you're not crash landing anymore. You're going on a mission. So apparently we're getting all new tools, all new vehicles, more advanced base building stuff, a whole new area to explore, all new stories, actual characters this time.
Man, I don't say this often, but if they somehow added in the ability to play with someone else in that game, oof, I'd be...
They modded it in.
Did they really? They added multiplayer in the...
I don't know how well it works, but they modded it in.
Interesting. That's one of those games...
You ever want to go to the adventure, JP? Just saying.
Yeah.
I'll build the base and you can go get scared.
Yeah, I'll just be out there. Co, I think there's a Reaper out here. Can you bring the Leviathan and just check it out for me real quick? Or whatever the ship's called. Anyways, Zeke, what was your number 2?
My number 2, it's a big surprise. Like, you probably, unless you watch my stream, you haven't played this game, but I recommend you play it. It's about a little bug who does good things. Spider-Man.
Nicely done.
I know,
Nicely
right? No, it's Marvel Spider-Man, dude. This fucking game is fantastic. We've
really
talked it to death. It is goddamn glorious how good it is. Everything about it is good. And the thing I really want to point out about this, is one of the reasons why Red Dead was disappointing to me.
Uh-oh.
In this game, traveling is fun. It's so much fun.
Amen to
I
that.
I know that it's horseback and all this kind of shit. I'm just saying, like, this game I rarely ever fast travel. I fast traveled only when the chat suggested it, because there's like little vignettes of Spider-Man doing funny things.
Yeah, I never saw those.
That's the only time I ever fast traveled.
I never saw those, Zeke, because I never fucking fast traveled in that game. Because I was excited to swing from rooftop to rooftop as fast as I could.
Also, I gotta say, the pacing it was like 2 different games. Like, the pacing of Spider-Man was so good. Like, any time you didn't know what to do, give it maybe 15 seconds. Hey, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and come out here. It's like you never felt like you didn't have any idea what to do. And whenever you did have downtime, you're just like, oh, cool, I can swing around now. Cool, let's go.
Totally.
Where are we going? Let's swing around a bit.
Yeah.
And one of the things that a lot of games fall into, and I'm thinking specifically of games like the Yakuza series, the fall into is like having a lot of sub-story content is great, but making the players want to do the sub-story or the side shit is a task, is a challenge.
Totally.
In Spider-Man, they fucking nailed it. Every time I passed by something, I wanted to do it and forget the main story. I wanted to be like, okay, time for a new challenge. Time for like to find this. Time to stop a robbery, whatever the fuck. It was so great how much shit you could do at once. There's a lot of like 100%ers out there that say it drags on when you do that, but like other than that, if you want 100%, sure, it might get tedious. But if you just do a casual playthrough and do shit along the way as you see fit, as you want to do, man, it was so much fun. The voice acting, the fucking music, every time you start swinging, the music swells and you feel like a goddamn, like immediately, like you can see my reaction. When I first play it and get into the first fight, it didn't feel like Batman, like the Arkham games. Arkham games, like Batman, like dodges, but he fucking swings like a hammer, just like Spider-Man, you feel so light and agile. And you're like, he has to pull his punches because he's superhumanly strong, right? So, but it feels like he's a jabber and not a puncher.
Totally.
But you feel so badass. Not only that, but immediately you're comboing shit. You're like, pop, 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 swing away, grab a thing with a web, throw it on this guy, swing it around, do this shit, and then that's right away. Grabs you immediately. So good. I can't say enough good things about it. And this is coming from someone who's not a big, like, Spider-Man fan. Like, I just kind of like Spider-Man, you know?
Totally.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Well,
Can't
with all
say
that talk,
enough good things about it.
That was your number 2. What's your... I think I know what your number 1 is, but...
Oh,
I think we know what its game of the year is. Let's see.
It wasn't even close.
Yeah?
Wasn't even a contest. It blew every other fucking game out of the water. It was Detroit Become Human. No, it was God of War. God of War. No question about it. It had everything.
I'm just going to reveal mine's God of War
challenge.
as well. Big surprise.
It had challenge. It had gameplay. It had voice acting, music, sight, sound, everything was A+ or better. I don't know if you can get better than A+, like S rank, I guess.
Yeah.
It was a fucking good game from start to finish. Nothing. I couldn't even think of one thing that I hated about the game. And usually I can.
I was watching after I beat. It's one of those games where after you beat it, you want to go watch other people play it. just so you can kind of talk about it with them. At least it was for me. And I was watching other people play it, and I started to think, like, was there something I actually hated about this game? And I had a hard time finding it. Maybe the ending, and I didn't hate the ending. I just was like, it's not the best ending for me. But yeah. It's also one of those games where I forget. I think Co started off not on the hardest, and I don't think you played on the hardest either. But I
started off on the hardest difficulty, and it didn't feel like the AI was better. That's what I want when I increase difficulty. I want the AI to be better. I don't want the enemies to be more spongy,
more damage.
I want them to be smarter. And I don't think it was like that. It was definitely more of a case of they just took longer. And I was like, this makes it not as fun. So I'm going to go one level down, and I had a blast all the way through. I
ended up putting it on the hardest difficulty right from the start, and never went back and changed it or never played any other version. But because of that, we were putting up the VODs on my YouTube channel. The first hour of the game the first hour of the VOD is me doing the first fight, just failing over and over and over.
It was rough.
And over. And I'm just like, this is fucking impossible. And then halfway through the game, I start to realize, I was just bad. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing in that game at that point in time. Because I started to you start to do the reactive dodges, or you start to have Atreus or whatever the kid's name is, just spam the arrows to stun him or juggle him, or there's so many different ways to handle that game. And there's so many moments.
Absolutely. Just what I would suggest to somebody, if you play it on the hardest difficulty, if you're one of those people that start on the hardest difficulty and get frustrated and pissed off, just go one difficulty down. It's still tough.
Yeah.
Go one difficulty down. Play it like that for a little bit until you get used to how shit works and what is effective against multiple enemies or big fat enemies or something like that. Then I would say, maybe go back to the beginning and try it again. Yeah. Because you'll have a much easier time, because it's the variety of shit you can do is amazing. It's great.
Yeah, it is.
You can go axe throw route. You can go kid route. You can go all kinds of different play styles, fighting styles.
Yeah.
To go and find yours. And then I would say go back to the beginning if you want to, and then try it on the higher difficulty. Totally. It'll be a lot less frustrating.
I actually did a full playthrough on second to highest difficulty, and then went back and played through the entire game again on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah.
And it felt like hard was a warm-up.
Totally, man.
It felt like hard was a warm-up for hardest. And that fight that you're talking about, JP, only because I had beaten the game on hard was I able to get through that in kind of I think it was 5 or 6 tries. I was able to get through it. Only because I knew of all the stuff that the game had not even told you yet by that point.
Yeah.
It's they kind of just drop you into that when you're playing it the first time.
You can preempt stuff, what tree to go for and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, that game eclipsed Game of the Year, and it's in my top 10 list without question. Top 5 list without question for me. It's just a hell of a fucking thing. Makes me sad because I know whatever they do next, I don't see any. It's the Last of Us issue. I don't see how the fuck that they get anywhere close to what this was. But if they can nail it a second time around and deliver on that, fuck, man, that's gonna be a fucking.
They just got to put in 100+ hours a week. When they're making they'll be just fine. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good.
Oh, and a lot of people are asking me why Yakuza 6 didn't make it on my list. I didn't like it as much. As these games and previous other Yakuza games. It's probably like 4th or 5th on my list of Yakuza games alone. So yeah, that's why. Or all Kiwami. Right. Kiwami, I can't really in good faith put that on a list because it's I know it counts. I know it does. But it didn't I feel weird because I played the other one, or the original, and then I played this one, and it kind of tainted it in my memory as far as enjoyment goes.
Got it. All right, Co. I'm so curious. What's your number 1?
Well, there is a definite game missing from this list that I think you guys can probably see. My game of the year. My game of the year this year was a game, but honestly, it was a franchise, and it was Fallout 76. Yakuza.
That's brave, dude. That's brave.
Yakuza Kiwami 2. It was Yakuza Kiwami 2.
Okay.
I like seriously the being able to play Zero, Kiwami, and Kiwami 2 made Yakuza Kiwami 2 an amazingly rich experience. It's very rare that I go into a game with as much connection and history to characters. And then to have an amazing game set on top of that was awesome. And the ending to Kiwami 2 was just like back-to-back jaw drops. All of a sudden I'm super sad, then I'm super happy, then it's what the hell is going on, then it's happy, then it's sad. Like they do such a great job of telling the story. And they already have these fundamentally awesome characters to do it. And then add on top the awesome fighting system, the excellent pacing, the plethora of extremely well-made mini games. It's the total package, man. It's the total package. And I got to admit, I loved every minute of it. Had a great time. And yeah, there's really not much else to say. I love the Yakuza franchise, and I'm so glad that that thanks to Zeke and Bikeman, I gave it a chance, man. Because starting from zero, from the first 30 minutes in Zero, I was like, all right, this is going to be a ride. And it was. And now Kiwami 2 is my game of the year.
I played just to reiterate, I played the PS2 version all the way through, and then I played Kiwami 2.
You played a lot.
And I didn't finish Kiwami 2 because I play those games. I mean, of course, the combat and all that kind of stuff is great. The environments, yada yada yada. However, what really shines for me is the story, and I had already done the story. Like I knew the gist of the story, so I didn't
really
play all the way through Kiwami 2.
Yeah, I don't know how much enjoyment I would have gotten from it if it had basically been spoiled. I mean, let's be honest, you spoiled yourself kind of by doing that.
Yep.
And I really, it would have made me feel differently for sure. One of the biggest impacts of Kiwami 2 is the ending sequence. Not like the end, but like there's this whole house of cards kind of collapse ending. And going into that, not knowing what's going to happen, it's just like it's just a big curvy road the entire time. And every few scenes, you're just like, what? So that definitely made it. That's what really set it apart for me and made it the game of the year. I completely see where you're coming from, Z.
I am kind of surprised though that you didn't have Red Dead in your top 10 at all. Like, I'm not saying number one, but I'm saying like
You finished it,
you
right,
played all
Cole?
the way through it, right?
Yeah, you beat it.
What's
right?
up? Oh, I played through everything.
Okay.
And the epilogue and everything. Red Dead 2 it's a good game, but it's really outside of my wheelhouse, and I have some issues with the way that the story was told. I feel like they this is going to be spoilery.
Spoilers.
I feel like they telegraphed the ending way too much. Like they kept saying like, "Oh, we're of a dying breed," and then he gets tuberculosis, and it's like, really, man? Like, okay, we get it. He's gonna die. Like, come on, stop smacking us across the face with it. Like, I knew in the first 10 hours what the ending was gonna be. And the whole game is just like it's not a hugely interesting story. Let's be honest. It's kind of like a general frontier tale. And the whole thing's kind of a slow decline, and I don't know, man. I mean, I understand why some people love it, but I wasn't super impressed about it. I wasn't like everything was kind of callable, and the characters were like there weren't any massive secrets or huge amounts of drama. Like, kind of knew Mika was going to be a dick from the second I met him. You know, like it.
Oh yeah,
I don't know, dude. There wasn't a lot of meat. It was really well done, but it was super cliche and not super meaty. Sorry, I know a lot of people really disagree with that. But
that said,
Yeah, and Spider-Man's not on your list either, is it?
no, it is. Wait.
do what?
Oh no, I guess Spider-Man's not on his list.
No, Spider-Man didn't make it on my list. I really enjoyed Spider-Man. It was a good time, and it was a great game. But again, like I've said 1,000 times before, not a huge comic book and movie guy, and that's what really sold and pushed a lot of that. It was a fantastic adventure game, and I had a great time with it. But you know, all these games on this list, I liked more.
Yeah, I think
Well, you're wrong though. I mean, how's it feel to be wrong about what you like?
Bro, I live wrong.
Ooh, dangerous.
Do you see
We need
this
a party.
list?
We need a party
How many
more,
people do you
buddy.
think
We need
agree
a
with this
party.
list? I mean, come on. Oh my lord.
Oh god,
Like,
I
Hopefully
think
none of you agree with our list.
We just live it these days. It's cool.
it's true. Yeah,
We go keep playing.
Yeah,
like-
hopefully none of you agree with our list. Hopefully you made up your own fucking mind. Like, would I? Okay, if there was a top 10 games that should be recognized or like that kind of stuff, like would Red Dead be on there for me? Quite possibly.
I would say so.
I mean, it had lots of good shit, but did I enjoy my time with it? Nope.
Here's why I think Red Dead is I feel like Red Dead was a technical masterpiece, but as a game, whatever. It's not my cup of tea. But like the game engine, the way that the game looks, the way that all the systems work together with one another, the background to like actually create a breathing world, I think that was unparalleled in the year. That said, I don't give a fuck about the world, and I don't want to spend any time in it because that's just my opinion. I don't want to spend any time in that game. But with all that other stuff, like it's a technical masterpiece. There's it's a gorgeous looking game. There's so much crazy shit going on, and your horse is like the vein thing. You can bring that up a billion times and be like, what other game has vein technology on your goddamn horse when it's cold? Like what? That's just fucking crazy talk. That's insane. Doesn't make the game good, but
it's one of those recognized game situations. Like I can recognize that it's good, that it's well done, that pieces are in the right place. Yeah. But I can also recognize that Citizen Kane is one of the best movies of all time, and I fucking fall asleep every time I try to watch it because it's fucking boring.
Right.
Also, by the way, for everyone talking about in chat about KCD, Kingdom Come Deliverance, not being on any of our lists, I don't know if you guys remember, that game was an absolute cluster at release.
Oh, yeah.
It was a buggy, broken mess on release. That's why I didn't put it on anything. I had trouble completing most of my quests in KCD. The combat system was garbage. The balancing was off. Now, it's gotten a lot better, don't get me wrong, but it took them a pretty good amount of time to fix it up. And, like, even now, there's still some issues with it. I actually checked it out offline a few weeks ago, and KCD is a decent game, but I don't think it's our top 10s.
Yeah.
And I never played it.
Yeah, I just watched other people play it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games on the lists that I didn't play. Like I didn't play Pillars of Eternity. I didn't play Pathfinder.
That's fucking hard, dude.
I
There's
didn't
so
play
many games
Assassin's
out.
Creed Odyssey.
Yeah, there's so many games out this past year that were all very long and very good games. Like I think that could be said for all of our list across the board. We just didn't play that many games because
I know it's kind of funny me talking about a buggy game with my list, but the important thing is the buggy games on my list.
They got fixed.
All of the devs did their absolute best to clean up after themselves. Like, and all of those games these days are exponentially better than when they released, and many of them are still undergoing heavy development.
Yeah.
So I take that as a pretty, like, I give credit where it's due, and that means a big deal to me when a company like goes into work mode after a release. A lot of times devs can't decide the release date, but they can decide what they do if they release a product that needs more work. And seeing that decision is honestly, like, I'm a person, I don't care if you make mistakes. I care about what you do after you've made your mistake. I feel the same way about gaming. I
would agree.
And game development.
I would agree. It was funny when you were talking about Yakuza. I'm just going to call it Yakuza from now on. Yakuza 2. And you were talking about how you played the other two games and kind of grew up with those characters in a sense. That's exactly what happens in Kingdom Hearts Co. Over 8 games. The characters are all mostly the same. You might really like that series. There's hope. There's I saw a bright shining star over there.
Talk to me in a couple weeks, man. We'll see. I'm going in with an open mind. That's all I can promise. I'm going in with an open mind.
All right.
Yep.
All right. We'll see. Man, what a world that would be. What a world. And then we'll get Zeke to play it.
Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, you're going to love it.
That's going to be, no, seriously. If I ever pick it up, it'll be a charity goal. It'll be punishment.
Okay.
It'll be like my gross food cast. Like that's what it will be. It'll be like, you have to play this.
Oh God.
I only glanced up at the cameras when JP was saying that, and I thought he was doing the South Park thing. Oh, and then we could get Zeke playing it. Oh.
I should have done that. That would have been good.
No, I think it's because JP knows that misery loves company.
Maybe so. Hey, we got the community stuff to go through, but we only got 4 minutes to do it. So here's the thing. They're already revealed, and I'm just going to click this button, and we'll just go through what the community voted.
Here we go.
Biggest disappointment, Fallout 76, right out of the gate. Favorite multiplayer, Monster Hunter World. Favorite character, I guess Kratos is probably God of War. So that makes
Look
sense.
at that! Wow, RDR2 second.
I wonder who, I guess it was maybe Arthur is who most people chose that from.
Oh wait, that's the original Red Dead Redemption. Okay, that makes more sense.
Biggest disappointment. Red Dead Redemption 2 is number 4. See,
Whoa.
I'm not alone.
Whoa.
Not alone.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, dude.
All right.
Multiplayer. Yep. Okay.
Let's see what else we got here. Voice acting, God of War. Everyone's a Christopher Judge fan. It's just gonna happen.
Oh, Yakuza 0 got 5th for best voice acting. Nice.
All right.
Favorite Fallout 76. Battlefield 5. I wonder.
Oh wow, Atlas isn't even on that list.
I don't think it was actually choosable. That's why it's not on that list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was not choosable on the drop down list.
There's Quiet Man. I was wondering what place Quiet Man would come in. DayZ beat out Quiet Man, so people are still.
No, DayZ finally came out this year. That's why it's on there. Like it's out.
It's officially out now, so now we can hate on it officially.
Yeah. Agony showed up again.
Battlefield 5.
That's what I said. That for number 2, that's kind of surprising.
Oh, it was. To be fair, it was pretty bad.
I don't know.
Definitely like the of them. I don't know, man.
It wasn't the big. I'll say this: it wasn't the biggest jump.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's a better way to say it. It was Battlefield 1.5.
Yeah.
It was not like its own. It was like an expansion almost.
Yeah, Zeke. The controversy with Battlefield 5 was it wasn't historically accurate because there was women in it. I think that was the controversy with it.
Oh shit! If I would have remembered that, it would have made my list.
Jesus. All right, let's go here real quick to the next slate. Favorite art style, God of War. Gris showed up. Yeah, that's what I expect there in art style. Sound design, Fallout 76. Really? What? What is that? What?
That's a surprise.
Wait. There's sound in that game?
Yeah, what the fuck? What are you chat? What the fuck?
I'm not sure.
Chat, what have you done?
What have you done, chat? That must have been Co's community goofing up.
I would have said no, trust me.
Maybe it was my community goofing up.
Not these days, it's not my community. No, sir.
Meme champ that shit, yeah, for sure.
That's memes somewhere. There's some memes in there.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Why is Hellblade on there? That was 2017, wasn't it?
It was last year.
Where's that at?
Funny enough, you know how I know that? Because I totally put Hellblade as my favorite sound design, and then was like, damn it.
Look, it was really
that
good.
was like my go-to.
All right, we'll allow it. 2 years in a row.
Weird.
2 years in
All
a row.
right. Favorite music soundtrack was God of War, Red Dead, Subnautica. Subnautica had great music.
It was pretty good.
And Nier Automata, of course, because that's 2018.
Yeah, it's good. I wonder. I guess that got So what we pulled the list from Wikipedia, the game Wikipedia or whatever for releases. So I guess some of the stuff got re-released. I bet you that's what it was.
Sure.
Oh, wait a second.
Platform.
Favorite sound design Fallout 76 because there's no push to talk.
Oh God, Jesus Christ! And then the final thing, Game of the Year, God of War and Red Dead. Wow, look at that Game of the Year list. Holy shit!
Mm-hmm.
Path of Exile is on
My
there. I like
game
it.
isn't even on it.
Divinity.
The original Sin that must have came out on something else.
Nice. Yakuza
Consoles,
0.
maybe?
Oh, it had a definitive edition this.
Oh,
I wonder
definitive.
if that's why.
I bet you it was. Yeah. Frown Upside Down, No Man's Sky. Okay.
Oh, Pathfinder. Good to see that on there.
What is this? What did they change in Odyssey that was Frown? I thought that was just fucking Frown. I thought that Frown never turned upside down. Yeah. Huh. All right. Well, there you go. Those are the community votes. We'll tweet out those images as well. Thanks to everyone who voted in that. And thanks to everyone who watched over the past year. I think year over year, Drop Frames continues to grow and we get more people that are watching the show and supporting everything that we do. So thank you guys for that. We'll do some shout outs and we'll close out the show. Because I know it's late. I know Co's got to go to bed pretty soon. So we'll let him get out of here.
I've got like a good 30 minutes before I got to go. Come on.
Okay.
Do you have a vote total? Like how many people voted?
I will find out and I will let you know while we're doing shout outs. Zeke, you want to start us off?
You betcha. Oh, thank you guys for tuning in to the end of the year show. Drop Frames. Thank you to JP and Co. as always for being wonderful and different co-hosts. Like from me, I love the differing opinions and the differing likes and dislikes. It has been so much fun this entire year. Look forward to another year of gaming. And if you want to catch me, I'm at or slash Ezekiel _ I on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Go please like and subscribe to all of those things. What am I doing today? Maybe doing a little co-cast with Man vs. Game. Maybe a men's date. We'll see. Never like to say definitively, but hopefully we'll be getting together later tonight. But nonetheless, even if we do or don't, tomorrow is going to be a very special day because now I don't have to worry about new games. I don't have to worry about generating a big list for 2018. January, starting Thursday, CD-ROM month. Oh, you betcha. Let me show you.
Oh, Jesus.
Let me show you.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah, babies. We got all kinds of oldies. We got Total Distortion. We got Discworld. We got Star Trek. We got Rama. We got all kinds of shit.
Oh, boy.
And that month starts tomorrow. We're going to do all installs live in front of you. So there's going to be, files being moved and all kinds of shit to make it compatible. It's going to be great fun starting tomorrow. And that's all I got. Thank you for showing up.
That is a magical box, Zeke. There's so many things there, dude.
Those are all given to me by viewers, by the way. And if you want to give me anything like that, I have a UPS box on my channel.
Oh, your cowardly is now brave. That's brave right there. Go do some shout outs for us.
Absolutely. Guys, it has been a hell of a year. I know many of you have been here probably for most of the shows, and we really do appreciate it. A huge thank you guys for letting us do this because these shows are a huge amount of fun. So thank you guys. My name is Ko. You can find me streaming every single day at 9 a.m. EST or earlier. I'm currently on a Kenshi addiction. You can join us tomorrow as we move into the wasteland, start training our warriors. We rescued someone from our cannibals today, so that was good, but we got a lot more to go. So we'll be doing that tomorrow at 9 a.m. EST or earlier. We also have right around the corner my very first Kingdom Hearts playthrough, which I'll be doing beginning to end. We'll be ending with a charity reward stream where I'll be checking out my first 2 Pokemon games ever, Doki Doki Literature Club and Danganronpa, if that's how you say it. And
good.
then
That's right.
shortly after that, we've got our Metrothon starting where I'm going to be replaying Metro 2033 and Last Light in anticipation of our 100% Metro Exodus run. We've got 20 Metro emotes on the way. Should be a lot of fun. Really hope to see you there. And if I don't see you at any of that stuff, I hope to see you next week or every week thereafter at 1 p.m. EDT on Wednesdays for Drop Frames. And thanks for a fun year.
Awesome stuff. We're done. We did it. That's it. 2018's a wrap. We can now. I like doing this show on the first Wednesday of January. Next year it'll actually be the first, so that'll be kind of cool. So
awesome.
I think that's a new tradition that we'll just start doing. That's it. I'll publish all the list. Or I'm sure Ko and Zeke will probably tweet out their list or do something with it. So I'll let them do whatever they want with their list, and I'll tweet out mine as well as the community stuff on our Twitter, twitter.com/dropframes. If you want to catch the MP3 version of the show, it'll be uploaded later today on iTunes and Spotify and wherever else you want to grab podcast. And that's it. We're going to get out of here. We'll be back next week. Shout out to all the guests, by the way, that came on this past year. You guys are a part of the show as much as we are, and we appreciate you guys coming on.
Some cases more.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And there's been a lot of you this past year. So we hope to grow that list as we move forward in 2019. So we are out of here. We'll see you guys next week for the actual first show of 2019. Drop Frames is out. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.